perspective?
I'm going back here to my notes, what we talked about the other day. Um, Hold on, give me a second.
That's okay. I'm checking my notes to make sure I didn't lose anything. Linda, do you have anything that you want to just to feedback for everyone from our class the other day?
Yeah, it was really helpful to hear about, kind of the structure of the senior living communities and kind of getting that big picture of how those are structured. Um, and so that was really helpful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then we talked a lot about events and doing
Yes.
presentations at these communities. So
Yeah.
as you are going through our training and you're learning the productive collective way of how you're partnering with senior living communities, one of the easiest ways to bridge that gap is to offer something for the community that not only brings awareness to the community, it elevates you as the authority on the downsizing and moving topics and helping seniors moving into senior living. But from the community side, it helps them get folks through the door. Their goal is to always get as many people in their community to see their community, to experience the food, to take a look at rooms, to tour as possible. Because there's an algorithm to this when you work in senior living of how many tours equate to how many types of folks that you're going to add to your database, and they label them. Pretty much every community does this in their database as hots, warms, and colds. Your hots are going to move in 30 days. Your colds are, I'm sorry, your warms are 30 to around 90 days, and then your colds after that are 90 plus days. So they want to move people from one bench to the next. So their goal is to move people up and move them in. So on any given month, a senior living company nationwide is moving between 5 and 10 people in a month. And you're going to say, wow, that sounds like a lot. And they should be full. Absolutely. It does sound like a lot. But remember, senior living is cyclical. So as we age in place, what is really important is to understand that you might start out in assisted living and then you need memory care. So you have to move rooms. So a room that they have available, they could move into memory care. And then for memory care, maybe you need skilled nursing. Maybe you move closer to a family member. This happens all the time. Or unfortunately, sometimes you pass away. So I remember when I was working in senior living, I might have had 5 in, but I had 4 out. And they used to call that the back door. They would say, close the back door. And I would laugh and I would say, well, you could turn the AC down and prop them up after they pass away, then maybe I could stop the back door from happening. But unfortunately, it's cyclical, it's part of life. So what they wanted the senior living sales teams to do is to move people in that were more active, more ambulatory, meaning that they weren't using devices of a cane, a walker, or a wheelchair to move in. And they wanted the senior living communities to go through to attract more vibrant, younger people. So here was the problem, here was the challenge that we all had. When we looked around our senior living, beautiful senior living community and assisted living, it was a sea of walkers. So how do you move in people who are still active playing tennis, playing golf, playing pickleball, right? Into a community where everyone was just kind of in a different part of their life. So that was always a struggle. And the easiest, the fastest way to overcome that objective and challenge was to host an event. When I worked in senior living, my job was to have 2 events a month. One was for professionals and one was for prospects. The more people I had coming through my door, the more my corporate office felt that we would get exposure from that. And then on top of it, the more that equated to sales. Because it depends on what area you're in, but down here in Southwest Florida, we have a ton of competition, just mere 10, 15 minutes away from one another. But when you go to a place where I came from in Connecticut, there were two options. It was option A or option B. So it's going to vary depending on your logistics in your area. And if you go to Orlando, Florida, they're on every corner like a Publix, a senior living community. That is a booming, booming place right now for assisted livings to be built because it's a booming area right now still. Their market is still booming. So how we take, and this was the question that we had the other day, we go from conception. You meet this wonderful salesperson, you're building a relationship with them, you're doing your referral pop-bys, but you're like, they're not quite calling me. And it's always coming from a hand up instead of a hand out, like Paul teaches us, and going in and seeing how can you bring more folks into their specific community to get them to their occupancy goals for a census the fastest. The easiest way to do that is events. We talked about this, and I love to do events like senior scams. I just did a senior scams event on Monday at the hospital. It was myself and a tech guy, and the tech gentleman, he talked about cyber scams, and I talked about scams in the home. Because there's a lot of scams that happen within your home that you don't even realize that happen. So one of the scams that you have in your home are people door knocking, asking to do work on your home. And seniors are vulnerable and they will let them in their home. So I have a whole seminar of what I talk about on that, what to look for, how to find trusted vendors. I do not sell at all for sales. When it comes time for real estate, I wait for them to ask me questions, and they always do. And I always, always, always get referrals out of doing a senior scam. Now, one of the things that you can do is if you are partnering with someone in your community, such as every law enforcement division, they have a senior scams division or a scams division, ask them to do it with you. Have them go first, you go afterwards, therefore you don't overlap on certain things. What you're doing is instead of overlapping, you are reassuring and bringing those points that they brought up to life. And then the other thing is you would like to, Linda, can I have you mute for a second, hon? Sorry, I gave my controls away to Sherry. Has everyone met Sherry yet?
Sorry about that.
Okay, Sherry is our virtual assistant. She is on. Everyone say hi to her. She's under Productive Aging Collective. And
Hi, everyone. Good morning.
Yes, she is going to be joining us on our call to make sure everything goes smooth and that we have our chats answered and that we're live on YouTube, which we are today. So just back to this. So you want to come up with something that's going to be beneficial for them. And why are we telling you to do this? Because all of you are trying and in the process of growing your senior living business within the senior living communities. So certain, we talked a little bit, and we're just going to reiterate that certain topics that you could do is bring in a dementia specialist, a certified dementia practitioner, or a trainer to talk about the top 10 signs of Alzheimer's and dementia. The other ones you could do is senior scams. I stay away from doing a lot of downsizing events because many of our seniors view downsizing as a negative term. So I try and use the word right size. Or the other thing, the other topic that I use a lot that works very well is should I stay or should I go? And that helps them to say, yeah, I'm on the fence. I'm in both worlds. I don't know what my next option is. So start thinking of what topics you could bring in, what professionals can you partner with to do them. I always tell folks, don't do your first one alone. Go on a panel. Ask an elder law attorney to come in and talk about wealth and wine. Like have a wealth and wine event where you have a wine tasting and they're talking about the top 3 ways to avoid probate in your state. Because we all got them. All of our elder law attorneys know those tips. Another thing that an elder law attorney can do for you, and you can join them, is do you have a driver's license? Then why don't you have a will or advance directives? So these are things that you can ask your partners with to say, yep, I want to grow your business. You want to grow my business. We're doing everything that Paul is teaching us. Now we're going to take it a step further and put things into action. So when you have the conversation with the sales director at the community, and brings us back to our point the other day, but I got to get you all up to speed for what we were talking about, is how do you have that conversation with them? And so you've now built this relationship with them. And Frankie, I'm going to have you come off mute so we could role play if that's okay. So you're going to go into a senior living community and I'll be the salesperson. And Frankie, if you want to be the realtor professional asking about how they would like to grow their business. So the first things that you want to write down is asking them, do they do events on a monthly basis? If so, how many? And do they have to gear those towards prospects or professionals?
Okay.
And then ask them if they would like to brainstorm with you on a couple of ideas that you had and bring up maybe 2 or 3 options in your head that you have and see if it's something that you can get on the books.
Okay. Now a quick question to go with the role play. Would this be after I have the tour of the community, or because that's where I get my hang up. Like I can call and schedule a tour. Like I'm cool with that. But it's the part after. Like what do I do after?
So this is you want to book your tours, you want to have your relationship built in a sense. So we're building a cake, right? So you want to have that base done at the bottom. So you already established that relationship. Now this is leveling up to the next level of how you're going to build your partnership. Because now you've already had the conversation about what you do and how you can support their business, right? And vice versa. So you have that reciprocal partnership conversation. And now we're taking it to the next level.
Okay. Okay.
Anyway, Felicia, could you go to those questions again? Do they do events and what else did you say?
How many events per month?
Okay.
And what's the ratio between professional events and prospecting? Because they call them prospects. So you just have to use their same words.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What's the professional event? What's the professional versus prospecting?
Professional event is just for professionals to come in. It might be meet and greet the new team. If you have a
Okay.
brand new team that just came there. I used to do a lot of fun professional events, such as martinis on the terrace. And it was the patio, and I made things really fun. So my group down here, all my caseworkers like to drink. I just know what they like. So I invited all of my professional partners that were in the building from home care to home health to do a martinis on the terrace. And what it meant is each of them brought a table and they had to bring a different type of martini to everyone to taste. And it was a contest. And then everyone had to go around and rate which one they liked the best. I had 70 professionals come to that event and they had so much fun. And my community provided all of the food, the little hors d'oeuvres. And we did professional tours. So I had about 7 of my direct reports there to take groups of people between 5 to 10 around to do tours of the models and tour the community. And then after they were done touring, they did all of their little martini tasting, and then it was networking in that sense. They loved it. It was fun. And right now, sometimes with professionals that work in this industry, it is such a stressful industry to work in that sometimes you just need to just have a little fun. That was just an example. All right, Frankie, you ready?
Okay, I'm ready. All
Awesome.
right. Ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Wait, are you the I'm
I'm
sorry.
a salesperson.
Okay, you're the salesperson. Okay. Um, hello, this is Frankie Thomas. I'm calling from Chameleon Realty. Am I speaking with productive senior living community?
Yes. Hi, Frankie. It's so great to speak with you. How is it going?
It's going well. How are you? How are you today?
Oh, just trying to get my tours booked.
Awesome. Is it possible, am I speaking to the correct person, or can I speak to someone regarding who handles the events at your community?
Oh, you're in luck. It's me.
Awesome. Well, I wanted to reach out. I recently did a tour of the community and it was quite beautiful. I love the layout. I love how the seniors actually move around the community and they're very independent. I wanted to follow up and see how to continue to build a partnership with you and ask a couple questions. How many prospect or professional events do you put on every month?
I have to do a minimum of 2 a month.
Okay, a minimum of two a month. Okay. As far as prospects, how many are, is it combined the prospect and professionals events, or are those separate that you do each month?
They like me to do them separately. They do. So one and one, they really would like to see more events for getting people through the door for my process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well, this might work in my favor then. I would love to schedule an event myself and my team. I have a local police officer where we would like to come in and discuss the importance of senior safety and scams. Would it be possible to get on your books this month to schedule that event?
Yeah, I would love that. I would love that. Yeah, let me know exactly what you're thinking of and we can plan it out. I like to plan at least 6 to 8 weeks lead time for an event. So let's figure out when we can schedule that because this would be right up my corporate office's alley. They would love for me to host something like this. It brings a lot of
Awesome.
the end. Yeah.
Okay, now to schedule, would you like me to schedule an appointment with you and we can come in and I can come in and sit and talk with you about it? Or can I go ahead and get on the books now and plan as we get closer to the date?
Yeah, let's get on the books now so we can plan out what our marketing time frame is going to be.
Awesome. Okay, so just let me know a good day and time. Preferably, could we do it in the early noonish time where seniors will be more out in the open area?
Yeah, absolutely. We could provide lunch for them. We can have them come in and enjoy everything that the community has to offer. That would be great. I love that.
Awesome, great. What's a good day that we can go ahead and schedule for?
We'll just say Thursday, June 5th.
Awesome. Okay, I'll go ahead and write this down. I will let our local law enforcement know, and we'll go ahead and plan and build from there. And that is so great that you all provide the food and everything. So I have a few of my adult seniors that would like to come out, and so I'll go ahead and schedule that. And if I have any questions or concerns, I'll definitely give you a call.
Okay, so one thing is that my corporate office is really picky on what the marketing looks like. So, would it be possible for you to send me over all the information, a little blurb about the event, who the local law enforcement officer is, perhaps your headshot and his headshot, so I can have the marketing team do some creative on it, and then we can
Abs-
flyer?
Absolutely. I can get your email address. Would that be okay? Or actually, I would love to just drop it off. Can I do that?
Yeah, you can do that, but I'm going to need it electronically too. So let's get all this together in an email and start our correspondence that way. And I'll send it over to the marketing team for them to get started on.
Awesome. I'll have that over to you within the next 24 to 48 hours.
Sounds great. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, Frankie, for calling me.
Thank you. It was so great talking with you.
Okay. All right. So y'all see how like this is really easy. Now, each company does have their own corporate marketing specs for how events are supposed to look, feel, and get executed out. The only thing that we didn't talk about was who's going to be taking RSVP. So make sure to put that in your event.
Okay.
And then on top of it, you're going to want to make sure that you have all of the artwork so that you can promote it on your social media and any Facebook public events page. There are a lot of them. When you search groups in your area, the easiest trick to do is go into the search button and put in events in your area. Like I do events Southwest Florida, events Naples, and start joining all of those groups so that you could share this flyer to all of those groups.
Okay. Now, how overall, how did I do?
You did great. You did great.
Okay.
You were confident. You did like you knew exactly what you wanted to say. I think everyone should, kind of weigh in. I think she did great. You did a great job.
I think she did an awesome job. The only
Yeah.
question that came to my mind was when she said she wanted to do scams, what if the director said, well, I already have somebody doing scams?
Oh, then you say, well, let's talk about a different topic. Do you have anyone who's, talking about Alzheimer's or dementia coming in? Or do you have anyone talking about building wealth as you retire? My favorite topic too to talk about, because I have a lot of favorites, is a 360-degree view on selling your home and avoiding capital gains.
So it's good to have, like, while I'm building and learning, it's good to have a list in front of me in case I actually have to pivot.
Yes, have a list in front of you of
Okay.
things that you're comfortable with. Now, folks who are members for who are productive aging members on our platform, they have access to all of my presentations, and I'm going to be posting them for you all so that you could see what I do. And I showed the girls the other day, all of the students that were on, and my slides, I think I unfortunately landed on my unlucky number 13, but I only had 13 slides. And I showed them and I ran them through one of my presentations just to show you that you don't have to be so overwhelmed with putting a ton of information on there. Less is more. It's in my notes for what I want to talk about. But once you have an idea of what one of these look like, then you can go on Canva, you can go to your PowerPoint, however you want to do your presentations, Google Slides, and you could come up with your own thought process for what you want it to look like, sound like, and pull data from. I'm a data-driven geek. If I'm talking about scams, I'm going to go to the FBI's website. I'm going to go to senior scams. I'm going to find those stats, and I'm going to showcase them, what the nationwide stats are. When I talk about 360-degree view of capital gains, I pull the capital gains stats and I source it directly from the website that it comes from where it states, $500,000 exemption for a one-time exemption for married couples, 500,000. So they know that I'm pulling it directly from census.gov or IRS, or where am I pulling this data from? And it shows that I have credibility with that. Yeah, Frankie.
Okay, so for each of, I heard you say that you have, you can do different presentations. So when you're building out your presentations, do you use like the same template that you've already had before, and you actually just go in and edit and take in or put a, okay, because
Yep,
I'm
I do
thinking
the
like
same.
I need to create a whole bunch of different
Mm-mm,
PowerPoints or Google Slides for each subject.
mm-mm. And remember, you can get ideas from Gamma AI. Gamma AI will do a presentation for you, and you could just copy and paste what your outline is. You can put in your information to Gemini. I like Gemini the better than ChatGPT right now. Gemini AI is through Google, and if you have a Google email on your little apps in the top right corner, there's Gemini that looks like a little star, and you can ask it to create a outline class for you, and then at least it gives you a little bit more to start from, because a lot of times the issue that we all have, it's not lack of ideas, right? It's lack of
Right.
putting those ideas into motion. So these are little tips to help you get there. So once you can see like what one of our presentations are that we do, because I have quite a few of them that I've done before, it gives you a little bit of an idea. It gives you a little bit of basis, and you go, okay, I get, I don't have to add everything in. I don't even add a slide on market update. I talk about it if they ask me. They'll ask. You got to make sure you do a good intro for what you do and how you serve the area. Trust me, they'll ask you. And practice makes perfect. Don't start out with perfection. Practice makes perfect. But this is the fastest way for you to start, really start solidifying those relationships, and you're bringing value to them. Yes, our conversations, our referrals, our value, but now you're leveling up. We want you to level up and start creating more value.
Frankie, I'm curious to know what are one or two presentations that you think you might start with?
I'll definitely would want to start with senior scams. And then also, actually, I have three. It would be senior scams, um, aging in place, just like a general synopsis of what aging in place looks like, and then also probate.
Yes.
So those are the three that I'm really passionate about, that I would like, that I'm going to lean more into and actually start my presentation. So like I said, when we were on the call the other day, I am eager to get out there, but I like what you just said as far as putting it all together and how to actually create the presentation. So
No, that's
I don't have to have like 10 different presentations that I create, but I can just go in and edit and use the Gamma and Gemini AI to create what I need to get done, practice it, and get out there.
yep. And the best way to practice it is Zoom. Zoom record yourself.
Yeah.
You don't need to have a paid Zoom account to do that, by the way, either. You could do it on the free Zoom account. The reason why I like the Zoom is because it shows you right in front of you as you're doing it, as I'm looking at myself right now, as silly as it sounds. But you look at yourself, you see how often you smile, you see how often you make expressions. I'm Italian, so I use my hands all the time and I have to push them down. And then there's great after you're done with the Zoom, you can take the Zoom link. You could put the Zoom link into the Opus clips. Opus clips will take out the it would make reels for you that they think are going to be the best for social media to push. And the great thing about Opus clips is it will remove all of your likes, and hesitations that you may have in your words and simplify it. But when you do click the button, because we should do a demo on this too on Opus Clips, it will tell you how many you have. It will say 47 removed. And then you're like, ooh, I got to work on my So it's a
What a pet peeve of mine is when someone says right, right, like, no, I didn't know that. No, don't say right.
I say so. Mine is so. I got rid of the like and the ums and the rights, but I say so a lot. I'm like,
Yes.
so.
So do
And,
I. Oh
and so
my
you
God.
got to figure out. And I'm like, oh, I wish I didn't do that. But that's okay. You're learning and you're being more aware of your
But
presence.
that's so much better than saying and right. I mean,
Uh,
I was
uh,
going to integrate. I say so much that I was going to integrate it into, so you want to know about this. So, because I'm always saying it.
yes. And here's the thing is that when you start looking at yourself and seeing your recordings, you're like, oh, geez, how do I stop that? And then once you catch yourself and you'll correct yourself, you will. It'll make you a stronger speaker. But the opportune time on this is the reason why I like the Zoom record is you could just literally copy and paste the link into Opus Clips for the Zoom link um, once the recording is up. But the reason why I like it is you could use this as reels on your social media account once you post your upcoming event. So it'll drop little ideas for you to post, once a day. This is upcoming. Click here to register for our event. Here's a little clip of what we're going to be talking about. And it helps to build that up. So use it as a positive way for that.
What's the
All
difference
right.
between Gamma AI and Gemini?
Yeah, Gamma's awesome.
What's the difference between them?
Gamma will create a presentation for you pretty. It's not going to necessarily create the content like ChatGPT or Gemini.
Okay.
They will actually take your ideas, your brain dump, and put it into a nice, pretty document for you. Even if you want to, I've done this before where I've had a messy offer and I'm just brain dump and say, how can I make this simple for the listing agent, right? And it will just simplify it for you and it just breaks it out so nice. And then you could just change it to sound like you. Um, but Gamma will take that, you copy and paste it, and you can make a document out of it or a presentation or a website. And there's a free version for it. And then, of course, there's paid. All these,
Everybody has free and paid.
everyone wants to get paid somehow. But it's a great little tool just so that you can get an idea of how you could structure it to be more engaging because you got to hit the people. There's visuals and the non-visual folks that are going to attend your event, so you want to be able to capture all of them. All right, my dears. Well, I hope you found this helpful today.
yes, this was
Always.
awesome. Thank you.
It was awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. So today I know Corey's going to be doing his script and role play 11:30 Eastern time today. And I hope everyone has a great day. As always, feel free to reach out to me. You could go to the website or email us at productiveagingco@gmail for my contact information. You could always reach me on Facebook as well. Sometimes I just don't see those messages on Facebook as quickly as I do a text message. Most of you have my cell phone as well. If you need that, just let me know. Just reach out and have a great day.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye now.
Bye-bye.